welcome to the news of the week. Now, this was supposed to be a slow news week, and that's why we were going to talk about only the Hyundai Verna. Now, sketches are out of it, and there has been a lot of reaction on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook from you guys. So what we've done is we pulled out all those comments, positive, negative, as well as neutral comments, and we were going to analyze your comments on the styling of the new Verna. But just as we sunk into the seats, came news of the Safari Red Dark. The Safari Red Dark has been launched. The prices, we will put it up on the screen. But it's not just the Safari. So the Red Dark treatment, we actually saw that at the
we saw
Auto
the
Expo.
Safari and the Harrier together.
Exactly.
At the Auto
So we
Expo.
saw the two Red Dark vehicles. But the interesting thing is that the Nexon also gets the Red Dark treatment. So black on the outside, red on the inside. In fact, red like these rally seats.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're not going to be this kind of seats. They're
Yeah,
going to be
not-
regular leatherette.
Yeah, not shouty red seats. These are more maroonish. But in fact, that red on the Safari and the Harrier that we saw at the Expo, I thought that it reminded me of old Porsches. Those old Porsches had that full red interior.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, I used to lust after 911s. In fact, now that I'm older, I'm still lusting after 911s.
All of us are.
So
Yeah.
that reminds me sort of a
But
a
you
Porsche.
need to remind yourself that you saw that in a studio with studio lighting. What will it look like on the road? That we still have to see.
That we still have to see.
Yeah.
In fact, I can't mention it because it's all under embargo, but I do know how it looks like on the road.
Oh.
But anyway, that's for another time. So anyway, welcome to the Evo India News of the Week. I'm Suresh Chandran, editor of Evo India. Atish Mishra is with me in the studio. We've obviously done some more upgrades to our studio. It's a constant work in progress. So we pulled out the seats from my old rally car. In fact, these the homologation has expired, so they were just rotting.
How long
in
do
one
they
corner.
last?
I think the homologation, the FIA homologation is 5 years, 6 years or something.
Okay.
So these are 10-year-old seats.
Yeah.
So they were just lying around. So we put a base on it and now it's in our studio. It's rather snug. I'm going to struggle to get out of it.
I
But
don't have those problems.
yeah, you don't have those. I think these seats, the one that I'm sitting in is Nikhil's seat. Nikhil was my co-driver and he's half my size. So it's
Yeah.
probably his seat.
You know what they say about all racing drivers? No excuses and all of that.
Actually, you know what they say about all rally drivers, right?
What?
All the fault is the navigator's fault.
Well,
Everything that happens is because
so
of
it's
the
Nikhil's fault,
navigator.
not mine.
Everything's Nikhil's fault. So anyway, shout out to Nikhil. Shout out to all the rally boys. I think the INRC 2023 season, the entries have just opened
Yeah.
up. So people are signing up for this season of the INRC. Hopefully that'll be good. In fact, we should get the promoter of the INRC into the studio sometime
Definitely,
and
yeah,
talk
for
about
sure.
rallying. But let's not digress. Let's dive into the news and let's dive into the Red Dark Safari and Harrier, which we have seen. The Nexon, we've only looked at pictures, so we
Yeah.
really can't say that much more about
But
it.
but talking about the Nexon, I think it only makes logical sense. You know, the Nexon is their best-selling SUV.
Yes.
It is the best-selling SUV in the country.
Period.
Yeah. So to give it that special edition treatment makes complete sense. It was obvious that they were going to do that, even if they didn't show it at the expo.
I didn't think it would be that obvious because, or maybe I was not using my brain. My brain doesn't work that far ahead. Otherwise, I would have been a product planner. I didn't think that the Nexon would also get the treatment. But I think the Nexon, it'll look really nice because we've seen black Nexons. They look really cool. Now, black with red, I think that combination works really well. I'm
Yeah.
very partial to both those colors. Those are my two favorite colors.
Look at your T-shirt.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have worn red today. Am I merging into the seat?
Yeah. for all our Spotify listeners, he's wearing a bright red Evo T-shirt, but it's red and it
Yeah,
matches the red
and
seats.
All of this is part of our merchandise line on 100 kmph. So you can go to 100kmph.com. These are all there. It's our merchandise line with 100 kmph. So you can go and check it out if you're interested. You
Yeah.
can buy. There are some cool new T-shirts actually coming up. We are working on it. We are working on a new collection. So in a month that will also be out. Again, we are digressing.
Back
so
to-
Atish,
back to
the
Red
point.
Dark.
So the Red Dark. Now,
What do we know so far?
okay, so exactly what we saw at the Auto Expo.
Yeah.
First things first, it gets ADAS features, which is the first thing that we do is switch it off.
But it's very likely the Nexon won't get that.
The Nexon doesn't get
Yeah.
it. So the Nexon is only color.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's only the paint and the interior trim. The Harrier and the Safari, it
Correct.
gets ADAS. So it gets automatic braking. If you don't brake in time, it brakes for you. If you don't, or like with all ADAS features, especially when you're squeezing around in the city and you're too close to the car in front, it will brake for you even though you don't want it to brake for you. But that's the situation with all cars and considering our traffic conditions. So what I do is on the highway, I let the ADAS remain on. In the city, I switch it off because invariably it will break when you don't want it to break because of the chaos on our roads. But it gets ADAS features, it gets lane departure warning, it gets blind spot monitoring, it gets a blind spot camera. So you flick the left indicator, it'll show you the image from the left camera on the screen. While talking about it, it also gets a larger screen. 10.25 inches. So finally, that big problem that we had a long-term test
Yeah, it
Harrier.
was the most annoying part of it, probably.
The most annoying part.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't see it. You couldn't tap it properly. Our fingers are all fat. So you would always tap the wrong button.
Yeah.
That is solved. So it's got a much larger screen. The screen also has wireless
You've
CarPlay.
used the screen. What does it feel like?
So I did try it out at the expo. Now it's got those widgets like what BMW does, so you can customize those widgets. It moves intuitively.
Yeah.
It also there's
Does
no
it feel?
delay,
Does it feel
lag.
sensitive? Like, does it feel like a high quality screen?
Okay, I'm no tech reviewer.
Huh.
Maybe Nishant from Stuff would be able to talk about that better. But for me, it worked well.
Okay.
And I use all of this all the time in the car. And if something is a little laggy or irritating, it'll definitely come in mind. And I did play around with it. I played around with the Altroz screen also. And it worked fine. Actually, does the Nexon get a larger screen? The Nexon should get a larger
It should.
screen,
It
right?
should get what the Altroz is getting, shouldn't it?
Yeah, so we haven't looked at the pictures yet because this is still under embargo. We are shooting this on what is today, Wednesday, and it'll drop.
The
on
launch
Friday.
still hasn't officially been announced.
The
nothing.
launch hasn't
So-
officially come in. We got insider information, but so I think the Nexon will get a larger screen.
It should, yeah.
Hopefully, by the time the editors cut this, we will have images of
Pictures.
this, so we'll put it up. So read the caption. Those who are listening to it on Spotify, I'm sorry, but you could just check it out on our Instagram. We'll have all the information there. But again, coming back to this, so larger screen, it works well. Those widgets, they are easy to use. They're customizable. It's got an air purifier with an AQI index. It's got obviously climate control and all of that. What is irritating and which everybody will notice later on is that there is no hard volume button. So there is no knob. So if the passenger wants to adjust the volume, they will have to go to the screen, tap one or two places, and then slide the slider, which is not at all nice.
It's okay. I mean, I have a similar setup in my Slavia, the long termer that I'm running. Never a problem.
Your friends are probably more accommodative of you, or maybe you are more accommodative of their music tastes.
Or
But
I don't let them
I'm-
touch anything in the car. And
Exactly. I'm sure my wife will complain about that. But for the driver, obviously, you
Yeah.
got the
Steering mounted.
controls, so that's fine. It gets a 360 camera
Okay.
with the 3D camera effect, so you can see the edges of the car. If you're off-roading, you can see where the edge of the road is as well as the edge of the car.
Useful
So-
for when the all-wheel drive Harrier comes.
Yeah, the all-wheel drive Harrier will come. Maybe we can
Yeah.
do a podcast on that later on. It will come, but it'll still some time
Long
away.
time away. Yeah.
So 360 camera, it's got a digital cluster,
Yep.
which is nice. The layout is all nice. It's got the lane departure warning. Also, the indication comes on the digital cluster. So that's there. It gets the Safari at least. It has that boss mode for the passenger seat in the front. So the guy sitting at the back or girl
Yeah.
can slide the seat in front. So that is easy. And of course, you get those captain seats in the second row of the Safari. We've seen that in the past.
Yeah.
And that I think is really nice. Very supportive, very comfortable.
You sit tall and
You
high.
sit tall, that theater
Yeah.
seating that they talk about. Also, it's cooled. Those seats are cool. So it's not just the driver and the front passenger that has cool seats. Even the two girls.
This is
at
what
the
you
back
get when
also gets-
Indian manufacturers develop cars for India because they know our problems.
Exactly.
You
They
know?
know what Indians want.
We
They
need cool
have
seats
their
in the
finger
second
on
row.
their pulse.
Yeah.
That's not to say that the Koreans and all that don't know, because all the guys who are doing the stuff are
Sure.
also
But does it
Indians,
Tucson
but-
have rear cooled seats?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
not a car that is made for India, whereas these are
Exactly.
made for India cars.
Yeah.
So that's all the features that are there. And the Safari and the Harrier have the same features. So, oh, wait. The Safari also has LEDs in the red LEDs for the sunroof.
Okay.
So a little more blingy, jing-jang. So in the night when you're driving, you can take some cool Instagram shots.
For sure.
Those things that we put up, no, early morning drives and all that. Now we can put late evening drives, driving down with all the red
LED
mood
mood
lighting,
lighting.
even on the sunroof. It'll look
Yeah.
cool. Maybe we should do a reel of it before somebody else does it. So that's all that is there on the Safari and the Harrier. And I think we did not point this out at the expo, but now everything is blacked out. So there is no chrome at all. I think the earlier
badges?
dark, Everything is black.
Even the badges are black.
The Tata logo is black. Everything is black.
That's cool.
If regulation permitted it, the windows would also be tinted black. But regulations don't permit it, so you
But that's not
cannot
going
do
to stop people from doing it in the aftermarket.
Yeah, that's true. But everything is black. So there is no chrome. It has been de-chromed completely. Again, they probably saw what tuners are doing. People are taking it and wrapping it and doing all of that. And they are de-chroming the cars. De-chroming is becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
De-badging, not so much. But de-chroming is... So even with the Safari, the lettering, everything is in black.
That's
which
cool.
I think looks really cool.
And this is such a polar opposite to that, gold and black edition that they have
Yeah,
now?
so Tata Motors does both.
Yeah.
Okay, so
They appeal to
Motors
both
does
ends of the
this
spectrum.
really cool black with everything black, with having that class, that
Tasteful.
sense of taste. No,
Yeah.
super. And then they also do the same thing with all the gold elements, which again is something that their customers want. So
Sure.
you are giving what your customers want.
Absolutely.
I saw it at the Naval Dockyard. I think one of the captains of the... So we shot the INS Mormugao.
Yeah.
And I think the captain, he came in that white gold Safari. So the Safari is also being used by the armed forces. And in that setting, I didn't think it was out of place. It looked cool. Or
Sure.
maybe that's my Mallu genes talking. But I think it's okay. See, end of the day, they are catering to customers. If nobody bought it, they would not continue
Obviously.
with that line. So to each
But the
their
black
own,
clearly
right?
works because they're bringing that back.
Oh, it's all over the place. Right? You see so many of these black cars. Now, I don't know if the other ones are wrapped, and a lot of the ones that we see on the road are wrapped, because this will obviously be more expensive,
Yeah.
and the prices are up on the screen right now. So there is a price gap to the same spec. But now with the red dark, they're also giving some more elements on the inside to justify that
Yeah,
price.
for sure.
And it's the red dark that gets the bigger screen for now. The Safari and Harrier will
Continue.
soon follow
Yeah.
with the new screen. Obviously, they'll upgrade everything. But these are the first ones that will get it. So we'll see this on the road soon. Bookings are open. Delivery is also going to start very soon. So go check that out.
Now, the Verna.
Well, actually, before the Verna, we should also mention that the latest issue of Evo is out. And it's got the 718 GT4 RS. I think this is the maddest car that I've driven in a long time. And the
Absolutely.
maddest car I've driven on roads that we know so well.
I
So
completely agree with you. Yeah.
I've driven the new Ferrari and everything, but that was in Europe. This on the roads that I know, like the back of my hand, I know where every single pothole is, every corner we've done something or the other. So I know every single corner, the approach, the entry, because we've driven it so much. I'm not bragging. I don't have.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're there
photographic
thrice a
memory,
week,
but
yeah.
We have spent so much time there. We know every tapri over there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows us. When we come to shoot, there's an old lady that comes with her butta, with the corn. So we know the chai wala. So we know everything over there. And now to drive this car on roads that we know.
Yeah.
So we are confident on. We know there is no traffic coming on this section.
And we're also able to evaluate it to a higher degree because we understand the road much better.
This car, the 718 GT4 RS, you did that video,
Yeah.
and I like that comment that you pointed out where somebody said that it needed the GT4 RS to get the Sirish out of Atish.
Yeah.
And I loved watching that video, Atish. Compliments.
Thank you.
That was a super video. We'll put the link up here somewhere.
Yeah.
And it really told you everything that you wanted to know about the car. And also that boyish enthusiasm, the childish enthusiasm. These sports cars, they're supposed to bring out the inner 8-year-old.
They do that by the bucket load. I mean, it was unreal. I could not stop grinning that day. Usually when we're on shoots, we get there early morning, we try to get out by lunch, you try to finish and get done with the work. We were there till sundown, driving, shooting, because it was that sort of car that you didn't want to give the keys back off. I said that in the end. I don't want to give the keys back. And we shot till sundown.
And we didn't give the keys back. So the next day was a Sunday.
Yeah.
Normally on Sunday, all you guys keep saying, "Arey, not on a Sunday. Sunday, give us a break." But on a Sunday, we went back.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't bring the car into the city because it is low. It is 30 mm lower than the GT4.
And it's got all those fins underneath
Yeah,
which you
so-
don't want to damage,
No,
So,
it's like you give this car respect.
Absolutely.
Okay? Some cars you have to give respect.
Yeah.
So we kept it on the truck outside the city. We didn't want to damage it over speed breakers. We went back. We drove it again the entire Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Wife called 3 times. Where are you? Where are you? I'm coming. But we went, drove it again. Filled up fuel again. We drove it. What fun, man!
Yeah.
That car, that drive going up those hills. I've not driven something that was madder. There was so much grip. The ferocity of the acceleration and the grip. This is a rear-wheel drive car. It's not an all-wheel drive car. Yet you can get flat on throttle at the exit.
So much traction.
So much traction. Not have to worry about the tail coming out.
Nothing.
Now, the Porsche India PR, they kindly requested us not to drift the car. And if there was somebody else would have said, yeah, and then gone and done it. But this car, okay, it just, you drive it and you just fall in love with it. That's one. And you have this overwhelming sense of respect for the car.
Yeah.
And if somebody said, don't do this, I didn't have the heart to do it. So
Absolutely.
we have shots only of the car going straight and going around corners, but no sideways shots. But man.
But you don't need, with that engine, with it ringing off the limiter at 9,000 RPM, the drama is there also. You know, you don't have to have it going sideways to have that drama.
And also the gearbox, the shifts, the speed of the shifts of the gearbox.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
You have to recalibrate, right? You don't expect it to be so fast.
And the tactility. So it's got the PDK gear lever, which looks like a manual gearbox. But that PDK, using that lever, just tapping it up the box, tap. Oof. That speed of the shifts, astonishing.
Yeah.
I don't think you get the same tactility via the paddles, because obviously you have the same speeds on the paddles. But shifting it using the lever, I thought it was special.
You've also got to take your hand off the wheel, so there's more like involvement there.
I guess, probably.
But I'll tell you what, and I've said this in my videos, what surprised me the most about the GT4 RS was the ride. You know, I expected the engine to be mad. I expected mad grip. I expected ferocious performance. I expected involvement. I didn't expect acceptable ride quality. You know, I expected it to ride so stiff that it would be shattering my back 3 hours and I'd be like, bus ho gaya. Nothing. It goes over everything. It rounds off all the edges of all the bumps. It over the Lavasa road, which isn't the greatest road in the world, you could drive it fast. It wasn't bad. Sure, it would skip over certain things, but it was not bad.
It wouldn't crash into anything. The pothole, I guess, because of the wider tires also, you just keep it on the edge of the pothole. It won't sink into the pothole. And the ride comfort was unreal. You expect it to be hardcore. This is a track car. It had half cage. It had a half roll cage in it, which is a no-cost option, by the way. So it had that half cage in it, and yet you could drive it. It was okay. The only limiting factor is the ride height.
Correct.
But it has nose lift, and like everything that Porsche does, even the nose lift, it goes up quickly.
Yeah.
It's not like it just whoop.
But when you're already that low to the ground, the nose lift makes only that much of a difference.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's just the right height. Otherwise, this could be a daily driver.
I wish. One day.
What a epic car. Epic 2 days we spent with it. There's an epic video playing on the YouTube channel. Read the story in the magazine. You can get the magazine at evoindia.com/magazine. I will leave you with Anand's opening line of the story. Foreplay starts at 3000 RPM. So you must read that story. Super story, great pictures also. So do check that out. We also have our sister magazine, Engage 4x4.
There you go. That's a cool looking cover. That's a completely illustrated cover. And it's all about the Thar in pop culture in Punjab. It's actually a very nicely done story. I thoroughly enjoyed reading and editing that story. It's all about how the Thar fits into that culture, that music and lifestyle culture that has developed in Punjab, and how the Thar stands toe to toe with some of the best luxury cars in the world in that culture. You know, you've got Lamborghinis, you've got Rolls Royces, you've got G-Wagons, and then you've got the Thar in those music videos. And the Thar is accepted, or in fact desired to the same degree as those cars. And why that is, it's a really cool story. It digs deeper than what we usually do. We usually talk about product car, but this goes a layer deeper into culture and how this car fits into a specific culture, and in fact probably even defines it.
Yeah, so we got a music writer to pen that story. It's not just us giving our opinions on the car. We've got a very cool illustrated cover, like Adesh said. And the thing with Punjabi music is that you don't have to be a Punjabi to enjoy that music. I listen to that Punjabi rap, Punjabi hip hop. I really do enjoy it. I can't understand what they are screaming about, but I'm sure they're screaming about something that is topical, because all rappers, all hip hop artists are very topical and very real in what they do. I enjoy hip hop music, and I do enjoy the Punjabi music. And a lot of times when you're driving our Thar, we have a Thar with us for the past 2 years. We love our Thar, and I do listen to this music. The only thing that I would like in the Thar is to have a better sound system.
Yeah, but then you can't take it water wading, no?
You can't take it water wading. Maybe the 4-door Thar, the 5-door Thar will have a better sound system. That's one of the feedbacks that we've put on our social media. In fact, if you think, or at least you have opinions on what the 5-door Thar should have, drop it in the comments. We will forward that to the Mahindra guys. In fact, they'll probably read the comments themselves. We don't have to forward it to them. But that's a cool story. And also, like everything we do with Engage, the cover opens up. So you have this really cool illustrated cover. You have a really cool picture of me. Look at that. So we shot this for the very first issue of Engage 4x4. We didn't use this picture.
That's the default automotive journalist 4x4 pose, no? When there's two or more cars.
I think so. I did that when we drove the Vredestein short Fortuner and all that. But anyway, that's another thing. So coming to what we are actually going to talk about in this episode of Evo India's News of the Week, and that's the new Verna. So here are pictures of it. Well, pictures means two pictures. We've got two pictures of it.
Yeah.
Look at it closely. A lot of you have looked at it closely, and we've got a whole bunch of comments. So let's run through that. Now, Atish has got the positive comments. I've got the negative comments. Don't ask why that is. So Atish, since we are a positive channel, let's start with the positivity.
Right. So I'm just going to read out a couple of random ones. I've got a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of comments that we got, but I'm just going to randomly pick out stuff. Somebody called Ankit Basak.ab says, love where Hyundai is going with their design language. Maybe they finally found their thing. And that's fair, you know, they've never had a thing. They've never had a design language.
Even now, there is no thing, right? What does the new Verna look like? Does it look like the Creta?
No, it doesn't look like other cars on sale in India. You get a hint of the Tucson grill in there, but it's more like the Nexo and other cars sold abroad.
Maybe.
So there is a family.
For me, I don't know. I'm not seeing a family resemblance here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next.
Yeah, sure. Somebody's saying, thinking of selling my 2021 Creta.
Well, the Creta is also not something that is, I don't know, how do you put it? I wouldn't say it's a face only the mother would love, but it's also polarizing.
Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
Unlike the Seltos, for instance. The Seltos is just genuinely good looking and across the board.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody really has anything negative to say. Whereas the Creta is, it takes time to get used to it. And I think the brilliance of the rest of the package sort of papers over the fact that its styling is something that it's a little hard to swallow.
And it also grows on you.
It also grows on you.
If you've learned anything from looking at BMWs.
True. Creta, all blacked out, would actually look nice. Everything blacked out, badges, everything fully blacked out.
It's the same effect, right? If you hide the details, it looks better.
Yeah, actually.
Same thing with the BMWs. But the Carbonide has said, impressed, but this wasn't my reaction when I saw the second gen Creta. So clearly they think things are improving. Or somebody else, Sudeep Kimster, has said, looks like a lucid front silhouette of the Octi and typically Hyundai from the rear. Futuristic.
It definitely looks futuristic.
Yeah.
I must tell you that. I should also point out that the full width LED DRL on the nose, I think that is probably a bit too much because that is a signature for all EVs. At least as
who said that?
Well, it's only the EVs that
even the
that,
Curve,
right?
which is not an EV, is probably going to get that. So
so the Curve should not do it. The Battista, I think, was the first EV to actually show a full width.
Is it?
I think the Battista was the first because the Battista has been a long time in the making.
Yeah.
Also, but I think that was the first. And in any case, it's all the EVs that have this full width LED DRLs. And now everybody's doing it. For instance, the e-tron did not have it. Now the Q8 e-tron has it. They've put one light bar on the top of the grille. So all of these EVs have that. That's a signature for all the EQ cars. The Merc EQ.
The Seltos actually had it, but not completely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that let it be an identifier for EVs.
I think it's fine. I don't think there should be such rigid rules when it comes to car design. Let them have fun with it. It looks
a good thing, right? That we have opposing thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. And I like this comment too. Amrit Jha Sahe on Instagram has said, the hottest Verna of all time. Now the Virtus City and the Skoda Slavia have to feel the heat. Even the compact SUVs, Brezza, Seltos, Creta, will look outdated. And that's true. And I think this is what I was telling you before we started recording this as well, that in a segment like the sedans, which you correct me, not dead, but not as booming as the sedan SUV segment, the sedans aren't selling as many as the SUVs. You need to have something radical, something that get you to pay attention. You know?
Excited. You're right. Yeah. Because for the longest time, there was the City and then everything else, the Ciaz also. But there was no excitement in it.
Absolutely.
And that's why everybody move towards SUVs. Whereas now,
It's coming back.
Yeah,
The
with
Slavia is
the
back.
Slavia,
The Virtus GT. Okay, but they don't push the boundaries so much. The Virtus GT looks cool. It's traditionally sporty. This looks futuristic. Like, it's pushing boundaries in that segment, which has normally been stayed, in terms
True.
of design.
And this has been heavily styled. It's got a lot of elements into
Yeah.
it, lots of cuts and creases. And what Hyundai is doing now, they always did lots of elements,
Yeah.
but earlier it would be like, oh my god. Whereas look at the Ioniq 5.
Yeah.
It's such a cool looking car. It's
Like
got
nothing else
a
on the road today.
million elements in it. I tried to count, and by the time I reached the side, I lost track because
Yeah.
it's just too much to count. So, 1,000 elements on
Yeah.
it, but it just all comes together to
Yeah,
create,
absolutely.
I think, the nicest looking car at that 50 lakh, maybe even more.
Yeah.
It just looks stunning,
Yeah.
like fabulous. And that pixel LEDs, what they call it, so slightly retro-ish. And all
It's
that
very
stuff.
retro. Even the shape is retro. It's straight lines and
Very nice.
Yeah.
So if they just made that and everything, they incorporated elements from it and put that on everything, I think it'll be cool. But they also make the Casper. Now, Hyundai are making a Punch rivaling SUV.
Yeah.
It's going to come this year. That it's not the Casper because they say the Casper would be too expensive to make for India. But if they just whole scale copied the Casper,
yeah.
I think that'd be great. It
Yeah.
just looks so cute. But anyway, we are talking about the Verna.
Yeah, no,
Now-
and my opinion is it looks good. You think otherwise. What is your opinion?
I think it's pushing the boundaries, which is great. It's radical. That's also great.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my age
Yeah.
speaking, but I think it's like, oh, arre baap re. Like, it's,
I was wrong with that. I think it looks.
I think it's okay. I think once you look at it,
Yeah.
it'll be fine. So somebody commented that hopefully it'll drive as well as it looks, and I do hope that is the case.
Yeah. The last
Now-
Verna drove well, to be fair.
Which brings me to another point. Now, I fear that the new Verna might be softened a bit because the last Verna drove well, like you said. In fact, we also did a tutorial on how to do a J-turn with the
Yeah.
Verna. We'll put up the link out here right now. We'll also
Yeah.
have the link in the description. The Verna, it actually did the J-turn really well. There was no float. There was no vagueness to the steering. You could actually do all that. And doing a J-turn is like a serious performance driving skill. So it could do that. But a lot of customers also complained of the Verna being a bit too stiff. And if you compare it with the Slavia and the Virtus both ride
Yeah.
better. I fear Hyundai might be tempted to cater to their customer demands and soften it a bit. But that will come at the expense of handling.
Yeah.
And we need that handling because
Yeah.
earlier in the past, what did we criticize Hyundai about? We
Soggy.
criticized Hyundai about soggy handling.
Yeah.
And they sorted that out. None of their cars are soggy
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't think they'll take a step back. Let's hope they don't take a step
I
back.
really do hope.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with the Slavia and the Virtus, the reason why it can ride as well as handle is because the body shell is torsionally very rigid.
Yeah.
So that gives it that handling chops and allows their engineers to put in softer dampers to give it that ride comfort.
I have a question. I get what you're going with this. You're saying that, and the Hyundais haven't traditionally. Is this a new platform?
Hyundai aren't very forthcoming with their platforms.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there.
Yeah. But if this is a new platform,
They never say that the Verna is adapted out of the i20.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it is adapted out of the i20, but they never say that.
Correct.
There is no MQB A0
Yeah.
Iron and then A0 Plus, and
Yeah.
they're very vague about their platforms. And obviously, we all know that the Hyundai platforms are the same that Kia are also using.
Yeah.
But you never know that this is, say, the PQ25 platform used here.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. What is the harm in being open
Probably
about
more
it?
product differentiation, right? You wouldn't want to know that a Creta is based on an i20.
I don't know. Or maybe just me as an engineer would like to know.
Sure. But my point is, now if this is even if not an entirely new platform, if they've updated it, could they have engineered both ride and handling into it?
That, and could they have engineered better safety into it? I
Correct. Yeah.
really do hope that is the case because it is high time.
Yeah.
Now, it's high time every manufacturer woke up and smelt the coffee. Tata, Mahindra,
Yeah.
what they're doing. Volkswagen Group,
Yeah.
Skoda and Volkswagen. In fact, Skoda and Volkswagen, they make the safest cars right now
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
India with the Kushaq and the Taygun. Yep. And the Slavia and Virtus also have gone for the global NCAP test. The results will be out very soon. So, if you go by the Kushak and the Taigun figures, I'm sure these would also score 5 stars for both passenger as well as occupant safety. Now, it's high time everybody made 5-star cars.
Absolutely.
There is no point blaming the government for giving poor roads or not enforcing traffic discipline and start with that and then we will move. That is all shifting the blame.
Yeah. I
Just
think both need to be
get on with
addressed
it.
parallelly, and safety in a car is the car maker's responsibility.
Exactly.
So that's
A
what
car
they need
maker
to address.
can't. Okay, they can sway government policy,
for
but
sure.
governments will handle rules, regulations, all of that. When they finally wake up, they also wake up, smell the coffee, and realize that their vote bank is shrinking because bloody people are dying on the road.
Yeah.
They will make sure that all this shit that is there on a road gets sorted out. And I feel really strongly about it. We spend so much time on the roads, and the kind of nonsense that we see on the road.
And we're at risk, you and I, for the amount of time we spend on the road. We're at
Our families,
risk, yeah.
our friends, everybody. It's just shocking the way things are on the road. And in that environment, it becomes doubly important that you are in a safer car because you
Absolutely.
never know when another bloody idiot goes and rams into you or comes from the wrong side or jumps the light. So
It's
you
a
want
number
to save
of
yourself.
Correct. It's a number of things. Like you said, I think infrastructure, education, just discipline and general, a sense of civic sense from our people, but also we're in a safe car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if somebody, God forbid, somebody comes into you, at least if you are in a safe car, you will be safe, your family will be safe, and you have to take care of yourself. Your
And it's called an
responsibility is to your family
accident
first.
for a reason. Nobody's intentionally going out there
True.
and causing havoc.
True.
It's called an accident. So, and accidents do happen no matter how careful you are.
True.
And when that does happen, you want to be safe.
Hey, accidents happen in developed countries with proper rules, regulations, all of that. So it does happen. So you want to be in a safe car, and it's high time that all manufacturers across the board
Absolutely.
woke up, realized it, and gave us better cars, stronger cars. To hell with the fuel efficiency. You can spend a little bit more money on fuel, on cars that take in 1 kmpl more, but you want a car that will save you in that one instance in your lifetime. That one time.
Think
You
about
want
what
the
a
car to
broken
save-
leg would cost you. The amount of hospital bills it would cost you.
Exactly. Amount of downtime.
Yeah.
You won't be able to go to work. All of that, right? They'll set you back in your career. All of that. Everything. So better to have a safe car. Buy a safe car. Period. The first thing, if you got 5 cars that are in your shortlist, if there's one car that's a 5-star, other car that's a 4-star, buy the 5-star car. End of story. Don't even ask us. Don't ask anybody. Don't ask your father, mother, sister. Just go and buy the safer car. Okay. We were talking about the Verna, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's run through some of the not so positive comments, okay? Because every coin has 2 sides. Now,
I'm sure there's people who don't like it.
on Instagram, the Hawabaz, he says, but Indian market ke liye bahut changes aayenge. Actually, no.
I think the changes that you will
Isme
see
kya
are
change aayega?
smaller wheels, more ground clearance, probably.
That's it.
The stance will change.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it's just smaller wheels, so it'll have 16s.
Hopefully.
Do you think 17s?
I mean, the Slavia doesn't have 17s, and that's a function of its ride quality. So it probably
Unlikely,
not.
right? So 16-inch wheels, a little more gap in the wheel arch because obviously the wheels are smaller, and more ground clearance because you need more ground clearance. But that's it.
Yeah.
So, इसका नाम क्या है?
Hawabaz.
The Hawabaz. Indian market के लिए ऐसे आएगा. So it won't change. So don't worry. Somebody says it looks very similar to the Tata e-Vision sedan concept. C. Pirolkar says it looks like a Volvo. Volvo?
Which Volvo?
I don't know. The old school Gypsy. Hey, we should do a Gypsy Gone But Not Forgotten.
Yeah, it's on the cards. We've just not been able to align a date.
Gypsy Gone But Not Forgotten is coming up. Wheels never gonna make it to the street. You're
fair.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. So there's smally rims and chonky tires will take away this swanky look. Well, you will have smaller rims and you will have a little higher profile tires. But see, honestly, when we reviewed the 3 Series, the long wheelbase, I did say that it'll look cooler with bigger wheels, with 18-inch wheels, 19-inch wheels. But then the expense at the hands of ride quality. As a
We'd
daily
do it
driver,
if we
you
had better
can't.
roads, but we don't have the roads for big wheels. If you had good roads, it would not be a problem.
The strange thing is that cars with bigger wheels, smaller profile tires, you can use it on our highways today.
Yeah.
Because our highways are becoming really good. And as good as the highways are getting, in direct proportion to it, in direct relation to it, our city roads are getting worse and worse.
It's unreal.
It's crazy just how bad the roads in a city are getting.
It's the report came out about how long about the most congested cities in the world. I think Bangalore is number 2 in the world or something like that, and Pune was number 6 or 7.
Pune is number 6.
Yeah, in the world.
Can you imagine?
That's 2 Indian countries in the top 10. Bombay and Delhi are much better off. I think they're 40, 50, something like that. But number 1 is London, number 2 is Bangalore. And that's what? That's A, congestion, B, terrible planning, C, bad roads. It's a function of all of these things.
Yeah,
but
so we live in Pune.
Yeah.
Evo India is based in Pune. I grew up in Pune.
Yeah.
When I grew up, we used to cycle on the road. I used to cycle to school. I used to cycle sometimes to college. We could walk on the road. You can't do any of that today. The metro work is going on. Hopefully the metro will ease congestion a bit. But it can be better planned.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a mess all around the metro.
Absolutely.
Why can't they pave the road and then start digging the center? Now you're digging the center and the road on the side has got holes in it. So as it is, the traffic flows slowly,
Yeah.
and then you have these holes. So then,
Yeah.
and the traffic discipline in Pune is extraordinarily bad.
And you know, the road outside our office, half of it is reasonably smooth, but half of it is just wavy, ripply tarmac. So all the traffic is just avoiding that because it's uncomfortable to drive on, focusing on the good tarmac. So everyone's, whatever the volume of traffic for a wide road is, squeezed into the space of a narrower road. If you just flatten out the whole thing and keep it uniformly wide, it should narrow and widen, you'd have no bottlenecks, you'd have traffic flowing smoothly, but it just doesn't happen. I don't know why.
It's
I
just
cannot-
probably done so that when you drive your Slavia, which has good ride quality, you can use the wavy road which has got no traffic.
I
on
don't
it.
have any
Because-
interest in doing that.
Because you can go far quicker and you won't feel all that waviness.
That's actually
because of
true,
your
you
car.
know. That's legitimately something I've done when I was going to Goa. I saw Fortuners lumbering through these bad patches of roads. Just take it around them, overtake them over the bad patches and go. I don't know why Fortuners were driving slowly on bad
The
patches.
Fortuner doesn't
Yeah.
ride very well. The Fortuner is damn bouncy.
But it's so robust. You just hammer
It's
through
robust.
Yeah.
It's
But-
it will last you for 4 lakh kilometers.
Exactly. You don't have to baby it over bumps and stuff like that. But I was over.
But if you jump over bumps,
Yeah. And
your
fully loaded, it
babies,
will
everybody else in it will holler
Yeah.
blue bloody
Yeah.
murder.
Again, digressing.
Okay, Prashant Agarwal 316 says aliens have come among us. It does look from the future. From the future?
Yeah,
It does look
futuristic,
futuristic,
yeah.
right?
So no more J-turn videos with it. We'll be blasting it off into space like Teslas.
You want to do that? Edward?
I don't mind. Yeah.
The tutorial?
You're funding it?
The tutorial to go to the moon.
Hey, if you're funding it, why not?
Does old Verna's bumper fit into this new one? Asks Atul J. T. Padiwal. No. Yeah, everything is changed. All the bodies.
Yeah.
So this is not a facelift. Okay, this is a new car.
Yeah.
Now, what Adish asked about the platform, you will never know because nobody
We'll
will
ask
give
when
you-
we drive the car.
Yeah,
we'll
but
ask.
you'll never get a straight answer. I
That's
can
also
tell you
true.
that much. I've been doing this for 22 years now. So you'll not get a straight answer. They'll all say that it is a new platform. You will
Yeah.
never know. I think it is adapted from the earlier one.
Yeah.
In terms of the wheelbase and the track widths, there'll be just a few millimeters difference. So that is a giveaway. But the bodywork is all new, as you can see. So no, bumper will not fit. I wish they would stick to projectors instead of these reflector-based matrix LEDs, says Echoes_Mon.
I mean, projectors, matrix LEDs. I don't see a problem between the two of them.
Oh, I don't know. CVCone.1 says the fender flare towards the back looks mean. The front overhang seems a bit short and not symmetrical, but I'll hold off my judgment until I see it in person. That's a good thing because it's always better to see the car in person and then make past judgments on it. Freddie Royce says, let's not get carried away by a render. Gotta see pictures of the actual car. Even the current gen Creta front end would look good on a render. Which brings me to what I said about the Creta, that it is still polarizing.
Yeah.
Sharad Damo says that the rear looks like a Skoda Superb.
Does it?
Really? Maybe we should wait for a proper.
We haven't seen proper rear
shot.
pictures of it
Yeah,
also.
this is just the side profile.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a valid point. AJKPS says, now imagine those wheel wells with a 4-finger gap. Yeah, he's spot on.
Yeah.
He or she, whoever AJK
Probably more than 4
is.
fingers, come to think about it. But
But you're on point.
yeah.
Very good point. And Naveen M echoes my thoughts. They should have saved this design for an EV.
I don't see why. I don't see why ICE cars can't look futuristic.
Naveen, don't listen to Atish.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything. M Zian 043 says, wonder how the base version of this car would look with those wheel caps and a basic interior theme.
That's actually a good point.
But do base version cars have wheel caps these days?
I don't know. We'll have to check. But the Verna base version, maybe.
Does the Slavia have a version with wheel caps?
It has steel wheels, so probably has
Okay.
wheel caps.
So
Yeah.
probably does. But today, wheel caps are so well designed
Yeah,
that
they look like alloys.
they look like alloys.
Yeah.
What was that car? The Kiger?
Yeah.
So that has wheel caps.
No, it was the Quid, I think. it
Or the
was.
Quid.
Yeah.
One of them. I think
One of the
even
Renaults, yeah.
Kiger, the Triber also.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
The Triber also, their wheel caps look so good. They look
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
alloys.
Correct.
So the stylists today are one step ahead. Chandan Nagaraj says, this car is going to be a disaster and will put a nail on the sedan's coffin.
Ouch.
Ouch. Rohan Kadam 85. The front looks like a flying saucer, and I don't mean that as a compliment. Ouch. Karthik says, she looks hot, but I doubt whether we'll get the same year. Karthik, you will get the same year. Smaller wheels, like we said, but you will get. Mahesh Shivin says, Winfast still looks better than this. What is
What?
Winfast?
No clue.
I don't know. Millennial
I'm
stuff?
millennial. I have no idea.
Looks kind of funny inside profile, says Gohakar. अब सब कॉपी कर लेंगे ये भी ठीक है ओके टेक डा Arya, man, why can't Instagram handles be the person's name with 1 2 3 after that?
Because we have so many people, no? 1.4 billion people. Everyone will have same names.
That's true. Facelift in 3 years of launch. I don't think so, but anyway, facelifts are in 3 years of a
Yeah,
launch. So
absolutely.
in fact, a lot of times it's 2.5 years. So wo to aayega hi, right? Looks like an electronic equipment with Diwali lights all around it. All this at the cost of compromised safety and driving pleasure, says Abhinav Prakash Singh.
I mean, that we'll have to wait to give our judgment on, especially safety and driving pleasure. Once we drive it, we'll be able to tell you.
Yeah. Shabaz Ansari Ashrafi says, I really doubt why Hyundai aren't getting in the new look Elantra in here. It looks great. I think they should,
Yeah,
but the Elantra segment is finished.
yeah.
End of story. So no point. There's only the Superb there, so no point.
Octavia.
On Twitter, Sundar Deep says the designer was on leave in the last days of the month, so they hired a Skoda Octavia designer for the rear. No bad thing.
Yeah, not a bad thing. And to be fair, Hyundai have...
Why is this in the negatives? Yeah, I think it's okay. I think the Octavia has a very good rear end. So, no bad thing if you ask me. Rishi Bhattacharya says, does it come with a new 6-cylinder turbo petrol engine? Oh, same engine only. Basically, old wine in a new bottle. Okay.
But it
come
has
on.
a new 1.5 turbo,
It
no?
has. That's
Yeah,
what. So,
yeah.
it has a new 1.5 petrol
Yeah.
engine. So, the 1.4 turbo GDI engine, that's being phased out. The 1.5 turbo GDI engine, obviously to meet the new emission norms also, it'll also be more heavily localized.
Yeah.
So it'll be more affordable in terms of the costing. I think they will also make it a bit more fuel efficient because fuel efficiency is a big thing along with emission
Yeah.
compliance.
And it's interesting because they phased out the turbo from the Neos. That probably wasn't selling at all. But
Sadly.
they've seen merit in bringing it back here.
Yep.
So,
But also they're bringing this here because don't forget, this won't have a diesel anymore.
yeah.
So no
Yeah.
diesel. So you will have to have 2 petrol engines. So
Yeah.
you'll have the 1.5 naturally aspirated engine,
Yeah.
which will be better on fuel efficiency also. And you'll have the 1.5 TGDI, which will actually be smoother.
Yeah.
There will be less of the turbo lag. It'll have a little bit more power.
You've
obviously.
driven it. You're talking like you've driven it.
I can't say it. But it will have a little bit more power.
Yeah.
So that's also on the cards. And of course, emission compliance. So
Yeah.
you will have a new engine, but 6-cylinder turbo engine, how many people will buy? We enthusiasts will say, oh, yeah, great, super, and all of that.
Yeah.
And then people will be buying the 1.5, not even the turbo, but
Even
the
in the
naturally
E-Class
aspirated.
segment, people buy the 4 cylinders, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nobody's buying 6-cylinder engines, guys. So who is going to make it? So you're stuck, man. You're stuck with a 4-cylinder. Be thankful it's a 4-cylinder and not a 3-cylinder. Sudarshan says, ogle worthy, but what's with the weird swoopy back C-pillar?
It's in
Is
vogue.
that, sort of the notchbacky effect?
It's in vogue. I think people want something that looks a little more...
Coupe-ish.
Yeah, it looks aerodynamic, right? It looks...
Whether it's a sedan or an SUV, everybody wants
Maro
a coupe.
coupe. Yeah.
So coupe on everything.
Yeah.
Curve coupe.
Curve coupe.
So AR says, despite the bad build quality, Koreans are hitting the right spot in terms of design nowadays.
I disagree with that. Where's the bad build quality? I think
Where's the bad? How do you judge build quality? Build quality is things not falling apart, things not rattling in 3 years, 5 years. The Creta, the Verna, they're all fine. They don't last as well as a Toyota.
Yeah, that's why I need to interject. Our long-term Creta did start squeaking and rattling a little bit.
Yeah, but we use our cars also.
Yeah,
Right? We use them in a year. We do at least 40,000 kilometers. We do use our cars.
And
but
hard
nothing-
kilometers.
So nothing fell off. No
Yeah.
door handles came in our
There were
hand.
no reliability issues.
No buttons fell out. We didn't have to send the car even once for an unscheduled service.
Yeah.
So, I think most of the squeaks come from the sunroof, the panoramic sunroof. The Tucson also,
Yeah.
the earlier Tucson that we had, all the squeaking was from the panoramic sunroof. But apart from that, I didn't see any problems. Okay, Toyotas last much better
Yeah.
in terms of just simply refusing to rattle.
Yeah.
No matter how much you coax a
Yeah.
rattle out of it, they will not. But the Korean cars are not bad in terms of build quality. So I think that's a mistaken notion that we just keep hammering them
Yeah.
on social
They used
media,
to
but
be
you
like
don't
that. I
need to.
think they've improved. Yeah.
There's no problem. I had a very first gen Santro
Yeah?
and
No?
my family had. No problems.
Okay.
Never went for an unscheduled service.
Mhm.
Not even once.
Mhm.
So the exhaust did rust
On
through.
the other hand, my Slavia just went for one because the window stopped working.
Yeah. And your Kushak went for one within a week or 2 weeks.
The one
your dad
we
bought?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
never buying a Hyundai, even if it could give me. Oh, this is what do you say? Not safe for
NSFW.
NSFW.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, his Twitter bio, his Twitter handle also is NSFW. So, let's not
with
go
the
there.
theme. Yeah.
Kohoili says, "Thank God we already bought a car. I bleep hate these long ass sedans." Okay, tough. Shreyas M. Sajeev says,
I love how everybody has an opinion online. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Give us some good comments, please. Comments in the comments below. Everything looks decent except for the odd character lines on the rear quarter panel. Even though the front end looks over futuristic now, it'll grow on us eventually.
Yeah, 100% grow on us.
Yeah, you're
was-
100 on that.
BMWs can grow on us. This will grow on us.
Also, this was a nice opportunity for Hyundai to bring back the accent nameplate. You're right, but also the accent, XCNT, was
That
slapped
was-
onto the earlier Aura.
Yeah.
Which
That was a
then
play
went
on the
in
accent, right?
And then
Yeah.
that went into this whole Ola segment,
Yeah.
and I think that killed the name.
Correct.
Unfortunately, that's actually an example of what not to do with a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't be over ambitious with it. Save it for something that's really good.
Yeah. And they muddied it up by calling it the accent. And
Yeah, accent. So I think accent name is gone. It would have been a good thing to bring back, but they've only killed it themselves. The same way that Maruti killed the Zen
Yeah.
by slapping it onto that Estilo.
Yeah.
What a great name. And they just killed it on that damn Estilo. Vinu Varghese says, sorry for denters, painters. Hello, they will charge extra.
Good for them.
So good for them. Elite Tech says, I think Hyundai won't launch Elantra in India. That's why they gave the look of the Elantra to the Verna with the bigger wheel size. Well, you're right. Elantra is not on the cards for India. And what's the harm
Yeah.
in giving the Elantra look on the Verna?
Absolutely.
Does this look like the Elantra? Okay, let's slap pictures on screen right now and you guys can decide. Front grille screwed up. Poor design, says Rajesh Mayu. IC_ engine says ugly. One word, to the point. Princey Kumar says front engine body needs longer for looking
What?
more better.
Longer hood.
Hello, Prince. Front engine body needs longer for looking more better.
I think he's talking about the front, like the
Overhang or
yeah,
just the bonnet?
must be the bonnet, A pillar to front or whatever.
SR Mohan makes the perfect closing comment. Perfect. Unless it scores 4, if not 5 stars in NCAP crash test, I'll never bother to look further. And that is a message
Appropriate.
to all manufacturers, not
Yeah.
just Hyundai, that safety is no
Non-negotiable.
longer secondary. Safety has to be at the top of everybody's list. Today, everybody will give big infotainment screens and cooled seats and all of that. It's all there. But safety has to be number one because we are in India. We are in a country that has the worst accident statistic records by far anywhere in the world.
It's
Even
scary,
African
yeah.
countries fare better than India. So there is no question. Safety, safety, safety.
Yeah.
We have to have safety.
Sure. Now,
And-
next topic.
Well, actually, we have only just one topic, and that is something that Ola put out.
Yeah.
Let's just dive to Twitter. Yep. Bhavish's kidhar gaya? Yeah. Bhavish's Instagram. Ola will set up the world's largest EV hub with integrated two-wheeler, car, and lithium cell gigafactories in Tamil Nadu. Everything has to be the world's biggest, right, with it?
For sure. Yeah. But
What is it?
mean-
What do you call it? That swinging contest?
Willy waving.
Uh, everything mine's bigger than yours. What is
Yeah.
this with the world's biggest? Anyway, that's their strategy. So again, they're obviously doing something with electrics.
Yeah.
For them, everything is electric.
I mean, so to be fair, they're ambitious, and to some degree, they have delivered. You know, they made big claims when they started out. We were all very skeptical of what that would pan out like, and they took time. There were delays, and coming off the line, their products may not have been up to scratch entirely, but today they are the largest sellers of electric two-wheelers in the country.
For sure.
You know, and by a fair big margin.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
I know that TVS is number 2 with
Yeah.
the iQube.
But Ola has been able to put their money where their mouth is and get production scaled up to a point where they can sell enough numbers, and people want these bikes, so they're buying them.
You're spot on that. Olas are all over the place now. You see them all over
Yeah.
the place. So deliveries are happening. You see a lot of these vans which are picking up Olas also for deliveries or
Yeah.
for service or for repairs.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you see them. Now it's not a novelty. You see a lot of them on the road. What I do feel is that they need to still sort out their product.
Absolutely.
Every update that they roll out,
Yeah.
there are still glitches in it.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the iQube, I use it to run around doing sabji bhaji shopping
Yeah.
and all of that. Actually, I don't do sabji bhaji shopping, but just running around, I use it, and it has given me zero problems. The
Yeah.
only thing I can point out is that when it switches from eco to power mode, the screen, the graphic changes, and there's sort of like a blink, and that is irritating in a
Yeah.
low light situation. But apart from that, zero problems. And I think that rigor that the traditional manufacturers go through before
Yeah.
they launch a scooter, motorcycle,
Yeah.
that tens and thousands and lakhs of kilometers to
Yeah.
make sure that there is zero niggles. What TVS has done with the iQube, for instance, what Bajaj does with the Chetak,
Yeah.
that is something that Ola still haven't
QC.
figured out.
It's QC at the end of the day.
And it's also the testing rigor.
Yeah.
For them, everything is bring it out immediately and sell in volumes and be number one and be the world's biggest and the world's largest and all of that. But that focus on the product to make sure that it is thoroughly foolproof, that there are absolutely zero problems, that mentality
Yeah.
is still not there. At least it's not evident. We don't see that.
Yeah.
It's all about making
least
grandiose statements.
To me, it comes across as let's get it out there and we'll fix these smaller issues on the fly.
Exactly.
You know?
It is on the fly, dealing with it. What did Elon Musk say? Put it out there and fix it, or fix it on the fly, or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not too
And-
sure about
and-
it. But that's what their whole attitude is. No, just put it out there and then fix it.
Yeah.
Which is not what anybody would want.
Yeah.
I know friends.
I
who
mean,
bought
I've not
Olas.
ridden any of their newer batches of production bikes, but the older ones they had.
So
small.
why is it that they're not giving journalists like us scooters to ride?
I don't know.
Have we pissed off Ola?
No, I don't think so.
Then why do they not give us
I
scooters?
mean, we've always had access to bikes.
Yeah,
with-
so the last
yeah.
comparison test that we actually did with the Ola, we actually borrowed a
Yeah.
friend's Ola.
Yeah.
And
And
when
that
we
had some
took-
issues.
So when we took it, he was very happy.
Yeah.
No. When I asked him for the scooter, he was very happy. Then when we went to pick it up, before that itself, he had some problems with it. We used it. We didn't have problems. We actually didn't have problems with the overheating also,
Yeah.
which was surprising because
Yeah.
everybody else complains about
Yeah.
overheating. We had no problems with the overheating. We had problems with the screen and some glitches out there. Another friend of mine who got it, he had problems with it. The Ola guys had to come pick it up, replace some parts, all of that. So everybody that I know who's got an Ola has had some interaction with their call center, which they get mighty irritated with because it's only a one-way conversation. You cannot talk to anybody over there. You can just give your feedback and you can complain, but you just have to wait for somebody or an automated response. So that is a problem out there. And they've had issues, unlike with the iQube that we have. And another friend of mine has got an iQube. Another friend has got a Chetak. They've not had problems. it's been like any ICE scooter that you buy.
Yeah.
You just don't have any problems.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see where this goes with cars also. I mean, I don't know if
Ola's going to make a car, right?
Ola's supposed to make a car, but I don't know if they can do that without the sort of rigor that you were talking about in especially the car segment, because their expectations are higher, prices are higher.
Yeah, if you're spending 1 lakh of rupees on a scooter, and if you're spending 15 lakh rupees on a car, 20 lakh rupees, at least the sketches of the car that they showed, it's probably a 30 lakh rupee car.
Yeah.
And then if you have
that won't fly. So
your battery losing charge suddenly, or no chance, man.
So I think, and I hope they get it in order. I mean, I say what you want about them, but they've made a dent in this space without a doubt.
Have they made a dent in this space?
If you're the largest selling in the country, haven't you?
Okay, you are selling well, but dent in the space would be what Tesla did, where they changed the mindset.
Yeah.
The mindset was full ICE and saying, who are these jokers making this stupid electric vehicle? And they changed that completely to making an electric car that was desirable and cool. They basically made an iPhone of cars. Right? You don't need a new 14 Pro, for instance, but you want a new 14 Pro, right? Because it's just it's just something, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Tesla, right?
Yeah.
They've turned the mentality completely on its head. Ola, have they turned the mentality on its head?
No.
And I don't want to be negative towards it, right?
No, they haven't done anything radical.
It's great what they're doing. It's great for whatever mobility. I don't think that the future is purely electric. And I think this whole thing about ending the ice age now is all just words and just creating hangama for the sake of creating hangama. I think both ICE and EV as well as hybrids can coexist.
And whatever future fuels are coming.
Hydrogen propulsion.
And
Why
green
not
fuels.
hydrogen propulsion? In fact, we should probably do a conversation later on hydrogen and also on lithium. India's found huge lithium reserves in Kashmir.
I'm really scared about that. I hope they don't go and ruin the state.
That's one. I didn't think of that, but that's why you millennials are a little future forward. I was thinking on the lines that now if we can mine it efficiently, the cost
I'm sure
will
you
come
can,
down.
but what's the environmental impact to
Exactly,
Kashmir?
yeah.
What's the political impact in Kashmir? It's going to have huge ramifications.
Yeah, so that's probably another podcast on another channel.
Yeah.
But anyway, we found lithium.
Yeah.
So that should help India's acceleration to e-mobility. And maybe that might put the whole focus on hydrogen propulsion on the back burner.
Yeah.
Because if you have enough lithium in the country, and if you're not importing it from AB not so friendly D, then why do you need to push another solution?
Yeah.
All of it costs money, right?
Yeah.
Infrastructure costs, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So then why bother with hydrogen?
Fair enough.
So who knows? A lot of questions.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the news of the week. It's been a long episode.
But I think this is... I don't know. You should let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Did you have fun watching this episode?
Usually we were doing a one-person thing where we gave you facts. This we tried to do a little more conversational, give you a little bit of our perspective in there. We'd love to know whether this worked or what you think about it.
And now we are off to Srinagar. We've got a huge drive coming up. We are driving from Kashmir to Kanyakumari in the Nexon EV Max. We are setting the record for the fastest K2K drive with an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Our target is, I think, 120 hours. Let's see how much we can shave off of that. We are starting off on the 25th at 4 in the morning.
And it's going to be all over our social media, so you can stay tuned there.
In fact, our social media is going to be flooded with it. Yeah. So let us know what you think about it. Let us know what you think about this week's news of the week.
Yep.
And also have to tell you guys, internships and job openings are open at Evo. There is a link somewhere in the description.
Evo India's Instagram. Go to the link in the bio. You'll find it there.
And also, you can kindly put a link.
I'll put it in the description too, yeah.
Okay, so link in the description of this, so you can hit that up. We are evaluating applications. We already got a lot of it, so be quick with it. And hopefully we'll see some new faces soon.
Yeah, for sure. See you around.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching and listening.